Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Here we are with another edition of Inside the Headset, Week 10, Game 10, the final regular season game. I'm with the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Thomas McDaniel. Coach, last Thursday night, what a great, fantastic football game you were involved in. Final score 9-3. Oakland Patriots came out on top. But what a physical, well-fought football game by both teams, and I'll let you take it from there.
Well, I mean, obviously a lot of people saw it either here at the stadium or on TV. I think, I don't know the ratings or whatever, but I think it rated higher than a lot of college games and the Predators and whatnot. So I think that kind of speaks volumes for our district and just the expectation level leading up to that game. Obviously, it lived up to the hype. It's probably not the type of game that people want to see. I think they want to see points scored and a lot more excitement. But for the purists, the ones that really appreciate the simplicity of the game, I think it's two great football teams. It was a battle of field position. It was a battle of momentum, and just very physical. Exactly what we expected it to be. You beat in on some things that you think you're going to take advantage of, and quite honestly, we had some things that we thought we would definitely be able to take advantage of, and we weren't able to at times. Some of that was people playing either above their head or up to their potential. I mean, one of them in particular, the big inside linebacker, Allen, in my opinion, played his best football game all year against us. And that's your best players have to play well in big games, and he did. We had some too that stepped up tremendously for us, but one of those games where every possession you could tell was going to be valuable. All the field position you could manage. I think part of it, one of the kind of underlying things that people didn't realize is just it's the first really cold night.
Yeah.
I think,
boy. Compared to this week,
it's just the first really cold game, and just getting used to play. We kicked a couple bad punts, and they dropped a few balls. Just all that stuff. I think is some of that. It was a little bit of it had to do with the weather, but anyway. All that being said, it was it was nasty. It was dirty. It was ugly. It was all the things that I love about the game of football. So, like I said, obviously we would like to play better. We just didn't seem to finish. We had couple drives early. One of them, we kicked a field goal. One of them, we got taken out of field goal range because of penalties. That was another big thing for us. Was we got penalized on some just bonehead things that we normally don't do. I don't know why we did them, but we did. And part of it is I think a couple guys at times got a little big-eyed. I think just being in front of the cameras, all those fans and media and just all the attention, I think it made a couple kids look around a little more than they normally do, and that's to be expected. But ultimately we made a few more plays than they did, and capitalized on a few mistakes, and it was just a good game. It's just we needed to be in a tough battle like that. I think it's good for your team to go through one of those, and we fought through it. And after we had that drive to start the third quarter, which, to me was one of the biggest determiners of the outcome. Obviously, we scored, but more than anything was the fact that it was 14 plays and 80 yards. We ate up 9 minutes. I think, they didn't get the ball until there was basically 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Keeping number 2 off the field, that's part of being able to defend him. And I think getting into the fourth quarter, you do get a little bit rattled, especially, we've scored a lot of points. I don't know what our average is, but I think it was about 35 points a game. But, they haven't even been in many games after halftime. And they're used to scoring points a lot. And
their quarterback grew up a whole lot that night also, because he had never been tested in that environment. So,
yeah,
you can't recreate that.
Yeah, so I think, just maybe pressing a little bit at times, but again, the bottom line is, whatever the case, whatever the reason, we're creating a lot of turnovers. It's happened every week. We're well over 3+ in the turnover margin right now, and we're knocking balls loose. We're knocking balls down. We're intercepting balls. We're just doing that more this year than we ever have, and I think it's really more than anything, it's a product of the players. I don't think it's anything we've done differently. We're going to do turnover circuits, and we're going to focus on tackling, and we're going to focus on knocking the ball out and trying to scoop the ball and score, all those things that everybody's going to do. But right now we just got a bunch of guys got a knack for getting to the ball and knocking it out or knocking it down or whatever. So turnovers were key. We knew they would be, and I'm sure they knew that. Blackman knew that too. But the turnovers were big. But at the same time, the disappointing thing for me is we didn't capitalize on those when we had chances. And quite honestly, some of that was late after the third quarter drive when we got in the fourth quarter. At that point, I was going to make, it was on our defense to win the game. We just weren't going to put the ball in there. We weren't going to do anything to give them great field position, in conjunction with the fact that they had fumbled the ball a couple times, which made me leery. But just didn't want to give them any unnecessary momentum, and I didn't want to give them any life if I could help it. And, but by the time the fourth quarter started, I decided it was going to be on our defense to win the game, and they did. So. It was a good football game. We learned a lot from it. Very physical. We're beat up right now, but heck of a game to be a part of.
You played the games you played last year, went through the season, and now you've played another set. And this team's had quite a few games. Do you think the game is slowing down a little bit for them, and it's not as, they're able to, like you say, go out and just take care of business and play good football? You think that is the case, or?
Yeah, I think defensively we're just we're at a different level right now than we've been in a long time. It's probably worth the argument to say that we might be as good on defense as we've been since I've ever been here. So, and we've had a couple years where we've had some really good defenses. This defense probably at this point definitely is up there with the best, and it's probably the best. So, it's slowed down for them offensively. I thought we took a step back. Part of it was because the opponent we played, they're very good up front. And, part of it is what early on we kept them balanced and
but your quarterback didn't dig you any.
No, he threw. He did great. He was 9 of 10. We caught the ball well. Part of it was we managed a few drives in the second quarter. We didn't finish them. Part of it was penalties and things of that nature and get behind the chains. But the biggest thing, the reason the game got a little goofy was we had the third quarter drive where we just kept the ball away from them and ran it 14 plays in a row. That made me not want to throw it after you do that.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got the ball back, we were in the fourth quarter. I was going to put it on our defense and wasn't going to allow anybody to beat us on our team. Not to say Rhett would have, because he'd done a great job all night, but at that point I was going to put it on the defense. So, like I said, we learned a lot from it. And it was a heck of a ball game, but there's some things I would do differently now looking back. In hindsight, but to be honest with you, there's not a whole lot I'd change because we got the W and we beat a great football team.
You got a game Friday night. We'll talk about it in just a minute. What have you been doing since the game Thursday? What did you do Friday and Saturday and working up to today, which is midday Tuesday?
We spent a little time Friday as a staff evaluating the film, obviously, and just talking about the things that we could improve on, and then Saturday worked on Stewart's Creek a little bit. Sunday we met as a staff, and it's just been a normal process. Continue to do the same things. It's everything's pretty set in stone for us right now. Sunday's a staff meeting day. Monday's going to be a lot of individual time, and then Tuesday's a work day, and Wednesday's a mental day for us. So that's where we're at. I think right now trying to heal up because we got some kids that are banged up, and then also restructure and practice for a couple reasons. Number one, the time's fixing to change and we're going to run out of daylight pretty quick. Number two, we don't need to be practicing for 2.5 hours. They've been doing this for 16 weeks. They're tired. They're beat up. It's a long season, and we need to start cutting back on some things and getting them fresh for hopefully a couple of weeks for the playoffs, however long we can take this thing. So that's where we're at this point, and kind of readjusting practice this week, like I said, because man, it was physical Thursday. It was probably more physical than I realized it was at the time, and just being at school Friday and over the weekend, we got some guys that are banged up, and that's to be expected. But we need a little time just to recuperate.
Stewart's Creek on Friday night, and they're a team that's growing, but we're not going to take those lightly. I mean, you want to finish the season strong, 10-0, and I mean, on paper you should beat these guys. Let's just be honest. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're a young football team. I mean, you know, I don't think they've handled it about as well as could be expected. You know, it's hard enough to be a first-year program and get thrown into a league.
Yeah.
To get thrown in this league, you know.
A league, yeah. You just said it. It's a league.
But to get thrown into this district is, you know, it's tough. I mean, there's not a district that you could that could be any tougher to get thrown in with having to play a bunch of young guys. And I think their youth obviously, you know, is an issue. Plus, you got to keep in mind that they haven't had time in the weight room. There's a variety of things that they're playing behind the eight ball.
Variables and levers.
Yeah, but you know, we're going to approach it the same way. We you know, we worked on Stewart's Creek this weekend.
Not taking it lightly.
No, we're going to prepare to play them on Friday, and you know, I think our kids are pretty businesslike right now. We have a chance to do something very special. I know. You know, here's what I can tell you. We're going to refocus our next goal, obviously, is to win a playoff game. And then if we win a playoff game, it's going to be to win a second playoff game. We're going to take it week by week.
As objectives, and then realize
yeah.
the goal ball is the goal.
Right. I mean, it is.
Silly.
It is. But I say all that to lead up to my point of, you know, we all have that goal, and you know, sure, we want to reach the pinnacle and all those things, but most of the time, you know, that's the goal you set, and you're going to end up disappointed. Only one team wins the whole thing, and but what we do have right now in our grasp that I think is very unique is we have a chance to go 10-0, which is rare. We have a chance to be undefeated for the first time in this school's 44-year history, or however many years the school is. This program's never been 9-0 and has never been 10-0. So we have a chance to write history for this season. And I think that's pretty cool. You know,
yeah.
It's something that it's a great accomplishment for our young men. So that's our focus.
Little
commission
for the hard work.
Yeah, and then like I said, we'll kind of reevaluate where we're at on Saturday morning, and hopefully, you know, quickly figure out who we're going to play. So, but as far as Stewart's Creek goes, we're going to handle them just like everybody else, and that's the way we're going to do it.
Anything else you'd like to say to the fans? Even though you're banged up, you got a game Friday night. Hopefully we'll know by 12 midnight, early Saturday morning who you're playing, and then from there, you know, this is our last show, and I just want to say thanks. I only do it through the regular season. If you decide you do want to talk to me, you just text me. I'll come over if you want to give an update to the fans. Don't have a problem. But is there anything else you want to say? I appreciate you and our time. We've done this every week, and you've hung right with me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate all you do. You know that. I think it's a great forum to get kids recognized, which is what this is really all about. And you know, just what a great season for Oakland. I mean, I just, you know, I'm not trying to say that to take the credit for it. I mean, I just feel like as a unit, my staff right now, we're in a really good place mentally, and everybody's having fun. It's easy to, you know, be happy when you're winning.
Easy come to work when you're happy.
But you know, I think it is rewarding, because when you go through a couple years that we went through at 6-5 and making the playoffs, you know, those 2 years, getting beat in the first round, we weren't doing anything different than we are right now, and I think it's you know, it's reassuring to know that we feel like we've got a good formula for success. I would continue to say, as long as I'm here, that there's nobody can tell me. I'm very proud of what we accomplished in 2011, 2012. We played with a lot of young kids. A lot of those guys are seniors now, obviously. But it's been very rewarding to us to see the fruits of all these guys' labor. I mean, these kids have been working for 3 years to get to this point. And, you know, sometimes you don't slow down to smell the roses, and I'm just thankful that we've had an opportunity to look back and say, man, we've beaten some good football teams. We've been very, you know, blessed and fortunate to, with the exception of a few injuries, to stay. It's just been fun. I mean,
a lot of memories.
Yeah,
kids will have, and that's what you know. It won't mean as much now as it will to these kids in 10 years,
no.
And they don't know it. But in 10 years, it'll be remember when.
So we've had fun. We're hoping we can ride this thing out for, you know, we want to ride it for 6 more weeks. Is what we're hoping for. And that's really I feel like it's an opportunity that's put in front of us that we can grasp, and you know, we just we're going to keep working. So it's exciting. I appreciate all of our fan support and everybody. Like I said, it's been a great year for Oakland, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Well, don't let it end here. That's Friday night over at Stewart's Creek. Oakland will be traveling over there, and then that'll wrap up the regular season. And then sometime around Friday night, we'll know who the opponent is, and then we'll get ready to move into the playoffs. We'll see you at the game.